On this week's episode of the In2geek podcast, we're learning something new. This time around, Rod Kirby, local film director and screenwriter, is taking us to school. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. What's up, fellow geeks? Welcome back to the In2geek podcast. As always, I'm Andrew, joined by Chase.
Hello.
Joined by Allison.
Hi.
And special guest today, I'd like to introduce Rod Kirby, a local screenwriter, producer, and entrepreneur. His notable films include Sodom, Love in Dark Places, Love Like This, Joy. Rod's latest film, The Prayer, releases in December, the screenplay of which was a second-round pick in Screencraft's film round competition. Film fun competition, and a semifinalist in the Filmatic Short Screenplay Awards. Hello.
Hello there. Rod. How you doing? Hey.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you for your very busy schedule to
show
come in.
Pity and come on here. We really appreciate it.
All right, man. Very excited. I feel like before we get into your life and your career, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about some notable nerd news that happened. So you'll get to be a part of that today.
All right.
The first of which is that Marvel announced that WandaVision is finally coming out after it was pushed back 3 times.
Finally.
It'll be in January 15th, which means that 2020 is the first time in 10 years that Marvel hasn't had a project. Is that a big deal, or is it like kind of like a good thing, actually?
I mean, it's kind of I guess a big deal just for the point of like nothing's come out though. Like, I mean, all we got was like Birds of Prey, and that was about it. So when it comes to the superheroes,
and the Mandalorian, I guess, also is kind of big. Yeah. And The Boys, which you also haven't seen.
I'm 4 episodes in now. 4 episodes in.
News alert.
Yes.
He now knows who Luke Stormfront is.
Yes, I do.
And just so you know, it's not a big deal to Disney. They still make money.
Yes, it's true.
So they don't care.
But you know what? After like Endgame came out, Endgame came out. I kind of wanted like a break, anyways.
That's what I was thinking.
But then Spider-Man came right after it, though.
Yeah. But it was like after all of that, we needed like a breather to then kind of want things back again. So it's kind of like a good thing, I think, that like nothing came out.
Yeah, I mean, we're still wondering what direction they're gonna go.
I feel like anything that came out, I mean, Spider-Man was great, but anything compared to Endgame is meh. Endgame was so great.
I mean, he did a good job because Mysterio is kind of like a jokey character, and he was done really well. I mean, like I liked Jake Gyllenhaal's performance.
He was great.
He was great.
I don't read the comics.
The whole glasses thing that was kind of stupid.
It was kind of cool. I don't know.
I did see like we were talking about how Disney makes money. Like I think it's been now like 1 year since Disney Plus came out. They have like 178 million subscribers.
Okay, but are those real subscribers or just ones that got the like?
They're like votes
Hulu?
in the election, so we don't know.
It's like the Hulu ESPN Plus bundle or something. Also?
I have no clue how. It just says 178 Disney Plus subscribers.
Because mine came with Verizon for free, and like I don't know if it's about to like be canceled or not. I have no idea. Do you have any expectations for the show itself, Rod? Or is there anything that like you would like it to be more like?
Are we talking about your show?
All the time. If you have any ideas, please let me know. For WandaVision.
When I saw the trailer, it looked pretty interesting, and I think my only expectation is kind of what an executive said, a Disney executive said, which was it's more like a feature film spaced out as a series, which to me sounds like they have a big budget and they're not going to skimp on effects. And I wanted to see it carry that torch from Endgame kind of on through a series, through episodically. So.
To me, like it almost had like a Twilight Zone feel to it. Which in the comics at one point, which I don't think that they're going to do, but like the beginning of like House of M, Scarlet Witch goes nuts and she kills every like mutant. So maybe this is her also kind of going nuts and she's like bringing back Vision and stuff and she's warping reality. So maybe this is the next evolution, like in her power set.
Like there's rumors that it's going to be like the opposite of House of M. Maybe it's like instead of killing all the mutants, she'll somehow bring all the mutants. Yeah, but who knows?
So I mean, like, but it looks fun. I mean, like
it looks like a sitcom.
It does a little bit. Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited for it. It looks like it's a good a good new breath of like fresh air compared to the normal like action packed style of like in downtrodden just Marvel stuff over and over again. This looks like a new creative like way.
It looks more exciting than like to me at least than like Daredevil and Iron Fist and them kind of were on Netflix.
Anything looks more better than Iron Fist.
But I'm saying like I don't know, just like it's fitting in the universe. It's probably going to set the tone of all their TV shows.
Yeah. So maybe Loki will also have like a more fun approach.
I mean, I feel like we're 5 years away from Loki.
I'm so excited.
They've already announced season 2 though. Somehow season 1 hasn't come out. They ain't got season 2.
It's not even supposed to come out in 2021.
I know, it's crazy. Keeping with the Marvel theme, we just got the cast drop for Spider-Man 3, which included Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Ryan Reynolds, which sounds awesome. But to me, this might be how they're bringing in mutants. Because Doctor Strange is supposed to also be in this film. I'm thinking that maybe he does some magic stuff and it accidentally brings in these other characters from like other worlds. And that's how Deadpool actually comes in.
So, I mean, it's like we'll have a Wolverine from not our reality.
We'll have a Deadpool from not our reality.
I could see that's how you bring Deadpool in.
Yeah.
So it's still the same, like, but they're going to have a new Wolverine, a new like people like that.
Yeah.
But like you could bring actually Ryan Reynolds in.
Yes.
So you can continue his movies because he's the moneymaker.
I mean, is there any characters that you would like to get added, or like, are you cool with the current like pantheon?
You know, I'm cool with everyone now. I just really want the X-Men. It's like, come on, just bring me the X-Men.
Yeah.
let's do them justice.
Who would you cast as like Wolverine? Because
man.
the current rumors are that Carl Urban might be him, and he can maybe do it. I mean, like, you know, he has that like I mean
he's already kind of old.
He's a gruff, you know.
He is, yeah.
Carl can do it.
I mean, like, I think for years folks wanted Tom Hardy to do it because he's like 5'9" or something or whatever. But like he's done so many characters already, it's hard for him to do like something else.
And I'm not sure if Venom is going to be part of the Marvel universe or not, so he might already be in it.
Yeah, I don't know. So like, are y'all fans of the casting of adding back the other Spider-Man as well?
Oh yeah. I think it could be a lot I if they do it right.
I mean, like, you're wearing the shirt. I mean, like, you tell me.
I mean, I think it's gonna be fun. I think they're I'm not gonna say they're copying, but they are definitely leading the same direction that DC's doing with their next Batman stuff.
Oh, for the Flash or whatever and everything.
Yeah, with the Flash movie,
yeah.
I always thought like Marvel was trying to like, we're gonna get it out first. We're gonna do the like just to stick it to DC because that's like DC does a whole bunch of Earth like stuff. It's a big part of their storyline. We have different Flashes and stuff like that, different Superman. Marvel, like, they don't do it as much, and I think they're like, we're gonna do it first just to piss off DC. And like, I mean, all their stories revolve around like multiple Earth.
Did you see Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, loved it. It was amazing.
I mean, like, I think it's my like number 2 favorite of all time, probably, whatever. So I'm wondering if it'll be like in that same vein where all the other guys are like, you know, brought in kind of like that or whatever, and if they'll actually bring in Miles Morales, like that would be awesome. Yeah. And in fact, like for the last year, I've said I would like the guy who voiced Miles Morales to be the actual actor. Shamik Moore, I think it's his name. He was in Dope, and he's amazing in that. So I like he has a very youthful like energy to him.
Yeah.
It was like that, or I wanted him to play like Johnny Storm maybe or something. But like I think that he's like super talented and would be awesome in that role. So hopefully he'll come in. And also that they've already established that like Donald Glover is the Prowler. So that could be something also in everything, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I like that Marvel does that. They toss them like, you know, like eggs here and there for you and stuff. So it's kind of fun. So the PS5 and the Xbox One dropped this week.
Did it? Do you know anybody who owns one? I'm not sure if it did.
Do you know anyone? Yeah. I'm trying to get one myself.
Yeah.
Fans of the show, if you'd like to donate a PS5 or Xbox One, we'd really appreciate it.
We'd gladly play it for you. Did you try to get in on all the madness? And would you rather have a PS5 or a Xbox One?
First of all, Xbox is not allowed to be mentioned in my household. So PlayStation all the way. And no, I did not try to get one because I knew it was going to be impossible. So I'm just going to wait till spring next year, see what happens.
Like 2023, try and get one then, man. Yeah. So I waited up Thursday night for it, and I had a chance, but I didn't, take my shot. GameStop had the like PS5 bundles, but it was like $750, and I was like, that's a lot. And then an hour later, I talked myself into it, being like, you know what, it's not that much. And then by the time I had gone back, it was gone and everything. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday I was on Best Buy randomly, and they had like one that was opened, and my phone wouldn't like do it or whatever. So like I couldn't get that either. So it's just
one that was open. The employees opened it and played some games.
I think it was one that was like returned maybe or something or whatever. But like, I was like, cool, whatever. It was
Who the hell had time to take the PS5 home, open it, play it, and then bring it back?
They're like, you know what? I don't want like.
I feel like that's like your doppelganger, because you would do that. You'd be like, you know what?
God.
I actually want an Xbox. I'm taking this back.
He did that with the PS4.
6 years ago, I felt terrible. My wife waited in line at GameStop for like 4 or 5 hours, whatever. It got me a PS4, right?
It was Walmart for 6 hours.
Yeah, no, it was
two separate Walmarts.
Yeah, it was Walmart. Yeah, right. She got it home, and then all my friends bought a damn Xbox instead.
Except for us.
But except for us.
So I went and traded it in, and she almost killed me. And then all of them traded in their Xbox for a damn PS4 afterwards. So then I went and traded it in again, and she has never let me live it down ever since. Awful. Oh my God. Okay,
yeah, I don't know how she's helping you get a PS5. I would not have followed her.
It's ridiculous.
She's the best of us, though. Okay. She's a better person than all of us.
So we're gonna get into your career, man. From when we were kids, you were more into the hand-drawn art style of like comic books and things like that. Mm-hmm. At what point did you transition from doing hand-drawn stuff to more film direction?
You know what? I still doodle. I still draw.
Do you? Okay.
I just don't do it as much. When I went to art school for a little bit, and got into charcoal and other kind of other mediums and stuff like that. I still do that stuff. I just don't do it as much. But I think my real transition kind of happened around 2011. I was actually, here's a shocker. I was a flight attendant for like 3 years. I was. And
how did that happen?
I was tired of retail. I was like, you know what? I'm sick of here working on Black Friday. I'm sick of this. I'd rather work in the skies. And
I'd rather have people yelling at me in the sky.
It's even worse actually, because you can't go anywhere in the plane. People just yell. But, I worked at the time I was doing digital media, and I was doing like website design and graphic design and stuff. Okay. And the company, I had a friend who owns a marketing company who worked for our airline. And they said, hey, I'm going to bring a project to you. If they ask you to do it, just say yes. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And they actually had a project. It was a communications project where they wanted someone, me and a communications lady they hired, to go around and do interviews and make YouTube videos for their YouTube channel.
Cool.
And I'd never done video stuff ever in my life. So I'm a self-taught video person. And I learned by doing, right? And it was a great experience. And I was like, man, this is really awesome. I get to tell these stories and, of course, get to fly and do all this cool stuff. And then it lasted for a while, too. They actually lasted for like 6 months. Okay. And then they were like, you know what? Okay, you're done with that. Come on back and come to work. Come back and do your regular job. But from that day forward, though, I was doing, music videos. I was doing little promo videos for businesses. And I just kept learning and growing and, reading books and watching YouTube videos, figure out stuff. And I decided, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
How hard was a transition from doing something that you knew brought in money to then just going for it and doing something that most people, would look at more like as like a hobby or like a pipe dream or something?
Well, I would tell you, sir, that 2015 was like the hardest year of my life because I was working at Best Buy, and I was a Samsung rep. So after I was flying, the company went bankrupt, and they gave us a choice of either moving to or working out of Detroit or New York or Minneapolis, or we can just leave, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm gone, because the headquarters was actually in Memphis. So it's super easy to go to work. But after that, you have to commute, and it's just terrible. So I left the company, and I went to Best Buy as a Samsung rep, and I absolutely hated that job. Not because the job itself was fine. I just hated being back in retail, back in that box. I wanted to be creative, and I was like, you know what? Screw this. Peace out, guys. And I quit the day before Black Friday, which was hilarious. It said, Rob, we need you to Black Friday.
Isn't that just Thanksgiving?
Yeah, no doubt, right?
Or
That's the dream, though,
you quit
like-
the day before Black Friday. That's Thanksgiving. Like you were like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna eat this turkey.
Look, that is
Like-
the dream for every person who has ever worked retail to quit the day before Black Friday. Oh my
Grab
God.
the phone and just like start talking over the like PA system.
And so I went from having secure money, and I was like, I want to do something creative. So I worked approximately like 3 jobs in 2015. I worked as a graphic designer for like $10 an hour. I worked at the Redbirds doing camera work for them,
Okay.
part-time basis, just for the season. And then I also worked for a photo manipulation print shop where they were doing. I was just doing Photoshop work for them.
Gotcha.
So I did that for like a year, and then I finally got a job at Goodwill, and Goodwill they wanted me to do basically everything I've been doing, digital marketing plus video production. I was like, yes, finally something creative I can do. And then that led to a full-time job at a plumbing company where I'm doing video production and photography for them. So, and I do all the film stuff too. So I get to do my corporate video stuff. I get to do my film stuff, and I use all the tools, and it's been great. So it was definitely a challenge, but it was totally doable because I was on the right track.
What's crazy is that like if you just the average person who just does like a Photoshop, I mean, like there's a lot of money in that now. So I mean, like you could have stopped there probably and not kept going, but I mean, like that wasn't your dream and hope at that time.
Yeah.
So like I mean, just I guess sometimes you just gotta bet like on yourself. And
you got to take that chance. Put your toe in the water. You can't be scared.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that I've been waffling with that like the last couple of years or whatever. Is that like I'm like you? I'm tired of doing what I'm doing right now, where I make all the money that I need and stuff, and like I have a house and a nice car and everything else, whatever. But it's like I don't feel fulfilled. And then it's like, does my age play a factor in that? Is this like a midlife crisis? Is that what's happening right now? It's like, so I'm so like, I've always had that itch to be more like creative. And I think that we've always been like that.
Yeah.
And so, I just, I guess, yeah, you just got like, just at some point, just like try it out and everything.
You have to, and you will never be fulfilled working a typical 9 to 5, unless that's just your soul's passion and it's what you really love doing. But for most people, especially, you and me, Chase and Allison and everyone else behind there, it's something in you that touches every talent, every gift that God gave you that you really have to put your hands on. And in order to do that, you might have to take a chance and swing for the fences on it.
And it's like, not only that, but I think a lot of people are afraid that they're going to fail, but like failure is a part of life,
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times, I mean, like, I don't care how prepared you think that you are doing your first project, it's not going to be good. And you have to learn from that as you go along. I mean, I'm sure that like, you like now looking back 5 years later, there's projects that now, if you tackled, would be like 1,000 times better probably or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And at some point in a year, our show hopefully is better. It's not what it is now. But at some point, it'll get we're like we're trying to go. So I think that like failure is just a part of the game. I mean, like you have to fail to understand what being like more like successful in life is.
And when you don't take that swing, when you don't step out there on faith, you're already failing. So what do you got to lose to
Fair enough.
Go and do it?
So you also got into I can't talk. Photography. I went to like one of your art shows, I think like 2 years ago or so, and we bought a picture of your stay from like Puerto Rico, and it's the only piece of art that we hang up everywhere that we go, and so much so that my wife is going on a friend's trip to Puerto Rico, and they want to take a picture at the same wall. And she wanted me to ask you if there's any fun spots or very like tasty, like places to talk. I can't talk. Restaurants and stuff.
Puerto Rico is beautiful, and it's a gorgeous historically. It's a very historic place, right? So every restaurant is good. So I'm not going to tell you which one to go to. Each one. They're very, very good.
You're just not like Burger King.
No Burger King, no McDonald's, no
Okay.
Chick-fil-A. But they actually cook their food over there, which is nice. And one thing that you should know though is if you go during their museum week, which I think is in the month of April or May, you can go to all the museums on the island for free, which is
cool.
amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's really neat.
So that was amazing. We got to see a lot of stuff, learn a lot of things.
Yeah,
and see a lot of things, which is cool.
that's very exciting because one thing that we do when we travel is hit like spots for art and everything, whatever. We went to St. Louis and hit their museum.
Mhm.
Went to New Orleans and hit like all their spots and stuff and everything, whatever. So I mean, like there's a lot of like character and stuff down there. So that's one thing that both of us are like very, very much like into and stuff. I mean like other seeing like historical bits and like art and stuff and everything else. Do y'all have any?
No, I'm just
Oh, I
thinking
just wish
like we
Chase
go
was
and
like
we're
that.
just like we hit this bar and this bar. That's how me and Allie rolled. We go.
No, that's how you roll. And I get dragged along. I want to go to the nice cultural places too.
So your wife is also very talented and a like writer, and you're like producer at times. How does she help play a part in you creating like new projects?
So my wife is a writer. She's written 3 books, and on each book, I work for her. So I do like the editing.
Nice.
I help her with the book covers, of course. So I do design stuff. But we always go back and forth. We've got a lot of projects in mind that we want to work on together, and everything that she has, we try to produce a project from it. So a film project. So her last series that she designed or that she wrote was called Joy. And we tried to do a series with that, and it's still something that we want to do. And her latest book is called Mrs. Virginia's Trust, and it's definitely got movie written all over it. It's about this lady who wins the lottery, and before she actually gets to spend any money from the lottery, she actually gets killed by the police, and she has to deal with, well, now her family has to deal with the aftermath of that, and they also come together because they have a whole bunch of family issues. So. It's a really cool project. But yeah, we work on a lot of stuff together, which is great.
It's so weird that because I literally just saw a story that happened like a few years ago where this guy won like $17 million in the lottery. Mm-hmm. He moved into a really nice house. He bought like an Altima or something, and then a watch, and then he ended up missing. And this girl that like he just randomly been like dating, whatever, murdered him like and hid his body and stuff, whatever. And so, but what's nuts about it is the internet actually helped find out what happened and everything. But it's almost in that vein of like he like won the lottery and he wasn't trying to like go out like and buy like a bunch of stuff or anything. He just like bought a new place or whatever. That was it. And then like so this girl that he was dating like had like $100,000 in debt or something, and I guess he wouldn't give her like the money or something, and so she ended up like killing him. It was crazy. You talked about that at times both of you have a lot of like projects in mind. How do you determine which project to like go for and which ones to like put over here? Because like recently I pitched like 30 ideas to Chase and Allison about just all types of ideas. And we know that we need to just be like more focused, but my mind's always going like this. So how do you just tell yourself to like calm down, like and do like this project and then this one and not try and do like 1,000 things at once?
That's a really good question.
So focus is actually one of my superpowers, first of all. Okay. So I have, what I like to do is I like to say no a lot. So that's to myself and that's to other people. So if someone asks me, hey, I got a movie idea or I have the script, can you read it? No, sorry. I can't read it. I'm sorry, I can't do it right now. I'm working on too many things. I need to stay focused on just these things.
Yeah.
Even for myself, it's all about where I want to go and where the direction that the project's going to lead. And I try to focus only on no more than 2 projects at a time. So if I'm doing a short film, if we're shooting that, we'll shoot that. And then if I'm writing something, I'll write just only on this one script, and that's it. I'm not working on anything else. I'm not plotting. I'm not doing anything else, right? Just working on these 2 projects, and that's it. You have to do it. You have to just kind of put yourself in a box and say, this is all I'm going to work on, because I tell you one thing, I'd rather have something completed than something that I'm dreaming about and wishing I had done you know.
Gotcha. Sounds fair.
I have a quick question. Like, when you, do you separate, like when you write and direct, like when you're writing something, are you just focus on your story, or do you, like, while you're writing it, thinking of like how you want to shoot this scene, or like, do you do both at the same time, or do you like just completely write the story and then kind of reread it and think about how you would direct it?
No, it's all, when I'm writing, like for instance, I just finished up a feature film script called Love in Dark Places. It's based on a short film that I directed and wrote several years ago, turned into a feature film. With the script, I'm focused on just writing that script, and I just got it to a third draft, which I'm very happy with. So now what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm writing up a synopsis, which is the entire story in like 2 pages from beginning to end. So you have to condense this 118-page script into 2 pages. And it's an exercise, right? But it's a good exercise. And while I'm doing this, the next step in the evolution of the script is to do a lookbook and a pitch deck. And then with the pitch deck, that's the project, and that's the document that I'll use to actually say, okay, this is how I want this movie to look. This is how I'm going to direct it. This is the kind of music I'm thinking about having. Here's what I'm thinking about for locations. Get into all the visual stuff in that document. But in this phase, I'm just focused on the writing. And that's it.
When doing a draft, one sec.
You got a gift from Zoom.
Yeah, sorry. The button's so far away. I have to get all over here. So with like your drafts or whatever, how do you know when to cut something? Because I'm sure that like on your first draft, you're liking everything on like there and everything, and then as you read it, do you give it to other people and then they tell you what to cut, or did you just over time understand what's fat?
So it's kind of so let me back up. Writing is a muscle, right? So you can actually, as you write, you'll get better at it.
Totally.
And one thing that's super important when you write is to not write. And what I mean by that is taking a break from the writing. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, maybe it's 3 months, whatever. Fortunately for me, as I was writing this project, I had this short film to actually shoot. So I had time to space out and not think about it. And that helped me tremendously to come back to it with fresh eyes. And with those fresh eyes, I was able to see, okay, do I really need this character? Do I really need this plot thread? What's really working? What's not working? Why is the script 155 pages?
What's a normal amount?
You want it to be between 90 to 120 pages.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere like for every script, like page of a script is like a minute of a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
exactly. So my first draft was 155 pages, and it's like, Jesus, this
that's
is
a long movie.
I can't afford this.
Can't afford it. Shoot it. Can't do anything with this. So I had to chop it down, and over the course of a week, I got it down inch by inch. To got it down to 118 pages, and now I'm actually getting ready to do a table read of that script. Where I have actors read it out loud, and so I can hear it. I can actually get an understanding of how it sounds coming from them, and then also I'll be paying for script coverage, which is where a third-party company will read your script and they'll give you feedback on the characters, on the plot, on the structure of the film, everything. They'll really give me the feedback. So okay, it's still too fat, or this is good, but you can be better.
Things aren't working. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Man, it's gone now. Oh yeah. So about like 10 or 15 years ago, I tried my hand at writing like short stories and novels and everything. And one, I found that I hated everything that I wrote. So I'm sure that like every writer feels that way. Secondly, every time that I would go back to do rewrites, I would end up just rewriting everything because I would constantly think of new things to add in and change or whatever. So for instance, this book that it was this idea that basically this character sold his soul back in the like 1800s, and he ends up being this like hellhound, and so his whole thing is that he would then hunt down other people who had also sold their souls. So the story basically opened with the story basically opened with this really brutal murder, and this cop trying to understand like the crime scene and everything, right? So my first few chapters were like about this cop and how he become a drunk and how he had gotten hit by like a car and stuff. So it was all this like a backstory and this color about the cops on scene. Mm-hmm. And then when like I went back to it, I was like, this feels like a waste because like our story doesn't really start here; it starts here instead. So then I ended up skipping most of that stuff, and then I chopped. So I feel like I was wasting so much effort writing things. Is that just part of the process, or should you have all that stuff kind of written in your mind and then start your story there?
No, it's part of the process, but something that can help your process is taking more time to develop your premise, right? So when I started working on this script, the first thing I did was write an outline, and that was just a short, bullet point. Here's what I think should happen in the story, in the movie. And then from the outline, I went to, I did a treatment. And in the film world, a treatment is it's basically your movie from start to finish with no dialogue. It's all story, and it can be 5 pages short, it could be 15 to 20 pages long. And in Jim Cameron's case, the director Terminator, he writes scriptments, which are hundreds of pages long with bits of dialogue in, and he takes that and he gives it to someone. They have to figure it out and make the movie, right? But my treatment really helped me to figure out the structure of the story. And I did all my editing on the page instead of writing it and then editing as I go.
Oh wow, okay.
So it helps a whole lot because you have everything worked out. You got a blueprint and a map for where you want to go and where the story should go. So I had everything figured out. I went through one thing that I learned that's a creative prompt to do when you're writing is to ask what if, and you do this at the very start of your project. So you ask yourself, okay, so what if this guy actually got blown up by a hand grenade and then came back and to life and he haunted his family? Or what if this guy did this? Or what if this happened? Or what if a bus hit everybody and killed everybody? Whatever. Yeah. You explore all that stuff at the front end so you don't have to worry about that stuff on the back end. Okay. You may have some things pop in your head as you're writing, but you don't add that to the script. You actually add that to a separate document. Your kind of like your boneyard almost. It's kind of like your draft area. And then you see where that could fit or if it should fit at all.
I was going to ask, when you write a script or anything like that, if you're going to like try to make this into a movie thing, do you put money involved? Like, well, I can't have this, scene in because there's no way I can afford, making this or something like that. Like, does that ever come in your mind, or you just go ahead and just write the script?
It does come to mind, but it shouldn't come to mind at first. The first thing on your first draft, you just want to get it out. Get out the full idea. If you're going to blow up the White House, add that scene.
Take it from my Independence Day. I was going to say, just take the scene.
I thought we were like, we're going to shoot in Paris, and then now the rewrite's like, we live close to New Orleans. I think we're going to go in New Orleans.
Let's go to Savannah.
You get all that stuff out on the front end, and as you go through your different drafts of the script, then you can start thinking, especially if you know for sure that you want to shoot it, that you want to produce it. And you're just not writing to write, if you're like a director, producer, then you'll start thinking, okay, maybe I can't blow up the White House as I thought. Maybe I should just move it over to New Orleans or somewhere else,
It's Arby's.
Arby's.
The old Velocipaster.
We could blow up a White Castle.
Car on fire.
I'll blow up a White Castle, not a White House.
So talking about money, you had already done the first 6.5 minutes of the prayer. Mm-hmm. And the last 6 minutes is about to be released next month. Now, you had gotten funding for the first part of the film, and then you had to do a Kickstarter for the second part. Is that right?
Well, so I did the latest short film is called The Prayer, and I spent $500 on the first 6 minutes of that. We shot that in February of this year, pre-COVID, and then we raised money on, it's actually a new platform called Seed and Spark.
Okay.
And what I like about it is Kickstarter, you have to compete with all these gadgets and all these other projects, huge projects that are on Kickstarter. Seed and Spark is really just focused on films, which is great.
Cool.
So we raised money on that. And the last half of the movie is actually, it's the larger half. That's why we had to raise money, was because it's probably 15, 20 minutes long, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be it's still a short film. It's just a fat short film.
Yeah. So what was the process like in terms of doing the whole like crowdfunding thing? Because I think all of us have thought about, I just go on Kickstarter and I'll get all my friends to give me like $10 each. This is great or whatever. How do you actually put it out there and do like, self promotion and everything for it?
Well, I've done Kickstarter. I was not successful. Kickstarter, it's all or nothing. So you have to raise the full budget or you don't get any of the money at all. And I had a project that I raised like $600 for. Yeah. My budget was like $3,000. I was like, okay, well, that didn't work. But what I took from that though, which was really good, was I learned that before you actually start your crowdfunding campaign, you have to start engaging with the audience that's going to give you money. You can't just surprise them. Hey guys, I have a Kickstarter or a crowdfunding campaign. Give me money. You really have to kind of massage them, kind of warm them up before they're actually ready. Yeah. And keep them engaged with what you're doing. So what I did was I had a pre-campaign that started like a month before the launch of my actual campaign. And with that, I was just sharing, I was basically just kind of giving them tidbits, just saying, hey, got a new project coming. It's going to be great. Here's some key artwork that you might like. Not really showing much, but here's an idea of what it could be. Just kind of really engaging people and sending them messages and saying, hey, can I count on you to help me with my crowdfunding campaign? And so once I actually hit the go button, the green button on the campaign.
You already had things in place?
Yeah, everything was in place. It was a lot easier. And also one thing that I did was I had a team of people that I kind of branded them as associate producers. And in exchange for that title, which they will get that on their IMDb page for the movie, they're giving me their time, they're giving me their opinions, and they're also sharing my content with their audiences. So it helps it really spread, to a lot of people, which is great.
Cool. So I've noticed that the same lead actor who is in Love Like This is also in The Prayer, right? Mm-hmm. So do you prefer to use the exact same crew in terms of just because things feel more familiar, or is it maybe like is it more cost effective to bring back the exact same people?
Actually, no. He just actually happens to be a really, really good actor, and he really does shine in this project. Like he's given it like A1, performance. And I think with most productions, I try to have a very varied and multidisciplinary cast and crew, and I try to get as much diversity in there as possible. Because the Prayer I actually have, it's probably going to be like 10 to 15 crew members. Men, women, white, black, different nationalities, all that good stuff. But when COVID happened, especially because we were crowdfunding during the peak of COVID around March. Yeah. We had to extend our campaign by a whole month to allow people to give, because things were just crazy. Nobody really knew where things were going. But when that happened, I had to kind of chop my crew list down to maybe I could cut down to like 10. But then when we actually shot, which we shot in October, and we had a total of 8 people, cast and crew.
Oh, wow.
So it went from 15 to 10 to 8 to 8, and that was cast and crew. And I was just making deliberate decisions because we didn't have as much money. Like we raised the money that we needed, but we raised a percentage of it, but we could have used a lot more. But because of COVID, you don't want to have too many people in one location.
Oh, true. So you brought up a point that that like I kind of wanted to touch on. About a month ago, there was a report from like I forget the exact website, but basically the Academy or just Hollywood in general is kind of pushing this agenda to that directors have to have more diversity.
You're talking about the Oscars.
Yeah.
The Oscars in order to be nominated.
Yes. Yeah. So as a director, would you prefer to just have the people that you feel comfortable with, or do you agree that maybe your options need to be like expanded?
No, I agree that more diversity on set, in front of the camera and behind the camera is really good. It's good for everybody because you get different opinions, you get different ways to produce a film. The things that I have in mind for a shot may be totally different than my DP, and he may have a better way to do it than I have in mind. And you can't get that if you're using the same people.
Fair enough.
So I really don't mind, diversity in front or behind the camera. It's really good for everybody.
I think like in the last, I don't want to say like, because of like I talk, I don't want to say like because of Jordan Peele, but he was a pretty big proponent. And I think in terms of just of like Black voices really starting to be like heard and everything in the last few years with Get Out, Us, and now Lovecraft Country, and just like a whole bunch of just like new projects, like Watchmen, and it feels as though we're almost hitting this new boon of Black actors, Black voices, writers, directors, really getting more props now. Do you feel kind of I don't say like obligated, but that your films and your voice have to now have a certain like narrative based on what I just can't talk, man. Based on what like other people like are currently like doing, or do you feel that it's just best to just keep doing you?
No, I think especially as a writer, your voice is really the thing that sells your projects. So if you're following the trend, everyone's going to be doing that. There's already a stream of content coming from that same trend.
Yes.
Right. So if you're doing you, and you're using your voice, which is distinct, it has its own experiences, it has its own history, then you're definitely giving the market something brand new to look at. And that's what's most important.
I think Kevin Smith said it like a few years ago. He said that when he made Zack and Miri, that like he was basically following the ball, and not being where the ball was going to go. So that like basically
he was just doing a Judd Apatow movie.
Exactly. Yeah. So he had seen that like Judd Apatow had like 3 hits with like Knocked Up, 40-Year-Old Virgin, and then he had like something else. And so
Superbad or something. Like that.
And so he was basically trying to just copy what was already being done, as opposed to doing that next thing. And so that he had kind of lost his like directorial style from doing that. So I think it's easy sometimes that like if you fail out after project after project, that
the funny thing is I actually think that's one of his better ones.
Really think so? It's not bad. It is. I mean, I still think Clerks is his best film, but I mean,
Chasing
Amy, yeah. So if money wasn't an issue, is there like a very like ambitious project that you would like to do?
Yeah, actually, I have a project that is basically the Christian version of the Marvel universe.
Okay. Is it like brand new characters, or would you be using like apostles and angels and stuff?
No, it's kind of in line with what you said. It's all angels, demons, all that good stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Actually, fun story. I pitched that idea to Anthony Mackie.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Okay, fine.
I met him at Tim Tebow, right? I met him at Tim Tebow's Celebrity Golf and Gala. It was like 2017, I think.
That was here, right?
No, it was in Florida.
Florida. Oh, okay.
He went to Florida. He lived.
This guy follows Tim Tebow around over here.
At the time, I was working for a plumbing company. I was doing video production, and they sponsored the event. And really funny story is they gave me a press pass to go take pictures on the red carpet. So I took pictures of the red carpet. But as everyone was going down the red carpet, they were going up a staircase that had 2 security guards, and this is where the actual party was happening. I was like, I really want to get up there, but I don't know how. And so I saw one of the Duck Dynasty guys, and he was walking up there, and I walked over by him, and I said, "Hey, man, love your hat, love your shirt and everything." We just started talking, and we just got to rapping, and the next thing I knew, we were upstairs. I was like,
nice.
Yeah, I've done that. Nice.
Trojan horsed it, yeah.
And nobody said anything to me. I put my camera to the side so he couldn't really tell that I was a photographer and everything. But I saw Anthony Mackie. He had a group of people around him. He was just talking, just being him.
Yeah.
And I waited like a fan, I waited behind him to get done. And he got done. He turned around and said, "Hey, Mr. Mackie, can I get a picture with you?" And I got a picture with him. And then asked him, "Say, are you still doing? I know you're doing Marvel stuff and all that, but do you still do independent features and stuff like that? Because I got a great project. It's basically Marvel meets Christian, angels and demons and stuff." It's like, really? I was like, yeah, it's going to be pretty
Cut the
interesting.
check. Yeah.
And he looked at me. He looked at me like this. Said, really? Huh? Okay. All right. Cool. I was like, yeah, and I got a picture.
Hi, Falcon.
And he walked off. And he walked off. Never talked to me again.
So there's a game that we had talked about maybe playing. It's called the Town of Mist or City of Mist, and the like whole concept is that these like larger than life characters, whether it's like King Kong, a comic book, or whatever it is, like a god or whatever, they're trying to get through their veil into like our world, and so they like almost like imprint themselves on people, and then that person has like certain traits. That could be like a really cool way to basically like your apostles and your angels and demons imprint themselves onto people here, and so it's a way for them to try to start doing their goals and missions almost in secrecy almost and stuff. So there's this war going on, but like nobody actually knows about it and stuff. Like in the game, it's like if a person is Thor and like a random person watches him fighting like goblins or something or whatever, at glance it looks real, but then like as they run, that their mind becomes like very lost and confused, and like what they saw turns into like maybe his phone accidentally exploded, and that's where that like bolt of lightning came from or something. So it almost like the city almost hides everything from people and stuff, whatever. So like that could be almost like a reasonable approach as opposed to like trying to like have very expensive effects and stuff and everything.
All right, that's cool.
What is the best and worst thing about being a director?
The best thing is getting to shape the story of a movie, having your hands on each part of production. So, and a lot of people don't understand that directors, they're not, gods or, anything super huge. They're really just project managers. Honestly, they're like the artistic manager on set, and their job is to ensure that each piece serves the story that they're trying to tell. So that's what a director is. And the best part of that job is really orchestrating it all and getting the story down to where it's amazing, not only in your mind and on page, but actually, what you see on screen. But the worst part of that is probably depending on everyone else to do their jobs.
Isn't that the worst part of everything?
I mean, on people.
Yes, that you were going to say the worst part is like all the like editing, because we'll do this, and that's the one thing that as soon as we're done, I'm like, oh my god, I've got like 5 hours of editing I have to go and do. So I can only imagine how much editing goes into just like one scene of having cut back and forth and have the sound line up and do this and have the screen look a certain way, like, and making sure that every shot it was done right. I mean, like, mine is literally just me adding in clips of things and pictures and things, and that still takes a lot of time. So I can only imagine, man.
No, I mean, editing to me is the fun part.
What?
Once you get off the set and you're still in that creative mode, you're still creating. It's just a different aspect of that creation. You actually get to form the movie and the experience that people will have when they watch it. So to me, that's the fun part. But when you're on set and you have a lot of people that have different specific jobs, I mean, it's great that you have all this collaboration, but sometimes a lot of them don't do the job they're supposed to be doing, or they don't know exactly how to do their job, or they don't know how to best make your job easier. So,
have you ever had to, after doing a certain amount of takes, just think, man, like that actor just doesn't have it, and have to like recast them or anything, or like, are you eventually able to get everything out of everybody?
No, I think I've never had to recast anybody, which is good. And that's part of the job, is knowing who's right for the part. And you do that through auditions, and you do that through talking with people and walking them through a scene to see, okay, I think you could work for this character. But what your job is on set, other than managing the different aspects of the creative of the project, is probably 80% of your job is going to be working with the actors and allowing them the freedom to create the character that you want them to create, but also giving them notes and helping them to deliver their best performance.
Have you ever had like an actor add something new that you didn't even know what was there, and like it made something better?
Yes. So at the end of the first part of the prayer, Delvin Brown, who plays David, our main protagonist, at the very end, he's supposed to see his family being lifted up into heaven, or into the sky and going to heaven. And originally he was just supposed to say, he's just really just supposed to play, oh my God, oh no, right? But,
Oh no.
oh no. But he ends up giving this passionate, like, no. It's like, oh God, okay, that came from somewhere deep inside his soul, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I'll say that I watched it last night, and my wife was doing something else, and after like a minute of her like not really paying attention, it like slowly drew her in, and then when it was over, she was just like, I mean, what happens next? I don't understand. And I was just like, I was like, I don't know either. you have to wait, Yeah. So, I mean, like his performance is definitely powerful. And it's very like, and what's crazy is that like, he seemed like a guy that was trying to do right by his family still. But he still wasn't chosen. And it's just like, oh, that's sad. He was trying, man, Finally, do you have any advice for anybody who is up and coming, or is there any advice that you would give to yourself if you could go back like in 6 years?
Yes. So I have to kind of break it up a little bit. So if you're an aspiring screenwriter, please don't just start writing your story. Take the time to really develop the idea. Develop the idea. Give yourself enough time to really bring your biggest ideas and watch them all fall, on the page anywhere they go, and pick up the pieces and see what works best and which ones don't work at all. You need that time as a writer to really explore the full idea, because if you start writing, if you just jump into a story and you're starting to write and you're saying, oh man, this is going to be good, and he kidnaps the president and he blows up the White House and this happens, what's going to happen is you get to a point where the story can't go anywhere. There's no change in character. There's no change in there's a way that it can end, sure, but there may not be a place where it can really bring the full impact of that story. So give yourself time to really write down your ideas, explore them fully. Ask yourself, what if? As a great exercise. What if this happens? What if that happens? And see where it takes you. And then you can go back and shape the story into what it needs to be. If you're an aspiring director, when you're working with actors, don't direct your actors too much, right? Because you can, it's really easy to say, okay, try this when you're mad, or try this when you're happier, or try this, give us a little bit more of the empathy. People don't really work like that. They're not buttons. You can't just push them and make them do what you want to do. You really have to give them the freedom to explore their characters themselves with a little input from you and a little bit of direction, but not too much. You want to give them as much space as possible to give you the performance that you need and the performance that really bring the project to life.
You brought up coming like I can't think of the words that I'm trying to say here. That you were trying to be more creative in terms of screenwriting, so that you don't get trapped or anything. I just finished Schitt's Creek, and
Great
Steve Levy talked about that when they were writing the character and the scripts and stuff. Him and his son was a huge fan of Christopher Guest, and so one of the great things about his movies is his characters feel very, very real. Mm-hmm. And so his son was like, hey, why don't we also do that here? And they started writing their characters, and after like 2 days, his son was like, all right, so let's like you move on to something else. And his dad's like, no, we're going to do this right. And so instead they took like a week or 2 weeks writing out every character in terms of like situations where they came from, so that when they went to then writing the actual scripts, it felt more natural, and they then knew how to put characters and lines and stuff. And then so he said that it went so far that him knowing that his character was into art because of these reasonings and stuff, and this, and then into this, that like it helped out, just like it tremendously. So I can only imagine like, the more effort, everything, I'm sure like it's just huge.
Yeah, and it really, as a writer, you'll be so excited about the idea that you had, that initial idea that popped in your head. You'll be so excited about that. You'll want to go ahead and write scenes and stuff like that and dialogue, but really, if you take the time to really explore your characters, get into the psychology of your characters and the mind of your characters, you'll be surprised where they even take you as a writer, right? Because you'll say, okay, this person, I want them to carry this gun. They're going to go in this cafeteria. They're going to shoot up this cafeteria because the person they hate is in there and they slept with their wife. But what if that character, instead of going in there and shooting everyone, what if they go and they stand outside, they look in the window, they see the person that did them wrong, instead of shooting that person, they shoot themselves.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, that's dark as hell, but that's good. That's good stuff.
I feel like crying after writing that. It's great. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that when I was writing, like getting authentic dialogue is really tough. Because in your mind, it can sound right, but then as it's read aloud or spoken, it can sound very, robotic and fake.
Hello, Rebecca. How are you doing today?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah.
Great.
So, like, how do you find a balance of giving proper exposition, but not in a way that things sound very like fake and like, just drone on about things?
Yeah, you really, when it comes to exposition, I mean, here's the thing. Exposition, you have to give it. People need to know what's going on. They need to know backstory. They need to know history, all that good stuff to understand the story. And you have to give it in some way. So the best way to do it is really give them something visual that they can see and connect to. Because you can have someone expounding exposition, but if you can give them something to look at while they're doing it, that makes it a bit more easier to digest. Have
you seen the Nice Guys?
Oh yeah, it was good.
Okay, so like Shane Black wrote that, and I think he's very good at like writing like really good like exposition because he does it in a way where it feels natural. Like he'll give you bits and pieces here and there, and it's not just like a jump and exactly. Yeah. So I mean, like Ryan Gosling's character is really great in that, and you get bits and pieces of him as it goes along. So it feels more like natural and real. I mean, like I think that's like. Is that like a normal talent, or is that something that a person can actually like just like learn over time, or like okay, yeah, fair enough.
It connects to the overall writing skill, and something as you continue to write, you'll get better. You start recognizing that, especially if you are wise and you have other people read your stuff and give you real feedback, and they're not just telling you how great of a writer.
That is so hard to do. I try to get feedback on the show all the time, and nobody cares. I'll get all the likes in the world, but like nobody can just stop. Like, hey man, your show sucks. Like, okay, cool. Well, why does it suck, bud? I need to know.
I give you feedback all the time.
That's just on life things, though. Before we get into rapid fire, do you all have any like final questions?
Just one quick question. Do you ever like hear like people talking, or like you have a conversation and it kind of hits you like, I want to write this down, kind of like use it later? Do you do that, or like?
Do I steal people's ideas all the time?
No, not just people's ideas, but like you use conversations like you have with like a friend of yours.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of sit there and you're laughing. You're like, that's actually really funny. I'm going to use this. And like, do you just write it down, or you just try to remember it, or?
So I use, of course, I use all the apps all the cool kids use. So I use
TikTok.
I use Evernote, and I use, of course, Google Docs, and I use an app called Ulysses. It's a writing app. And so whenever out and about, if I'm hanging out with people and someone says something super funny or super interesting, or especially people will tell me like their backstories, or I had this happen to me as a kid. I was like, oh, that's really interesting, really sad, but really interesting right now. I'll do that, and you'll be surprised, if you're sleeping and an idea would just pop in your head at midnight. It's really handy to have those apps on your phone so you can just write stuff down.
Let's use Notepad. I'm just like, yeah, cool, Notepad. Like I found this coat and it had like a little book in it, and I went through. I was like, oh man, look all these terrible notes I used to have in here.
Chase has like composition notebooks all over the house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so at some point you were trying to like write screenplays, weren't you?
I mean, I just had ideas and stuff, and I mean that's why like I knew when he was like, you do an outline first and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've read and stuff, but I hadn't done it.
Yeah. Like Quentin Tarantino, he told you that. He'll like take his friends' quotes and stuff, and then he'll toss them. Like half of George Clooney's lines from Dusk Till Dawn, it just hit his friends.
I'm curious who his friends were that saying that kind of stuff.
Right? All right, so let's move into rapid fire. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions in a row, man. You just give it to me, okay?
I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Favorite director?
Favorite director would be Ava DuVernay.
What's something that they've done?
Ava is, first of all, as far as comics goes, she's on DC's Eternals. She's doing that.
Oh, okay.
That's upcoming. And all of her stuff is amazing. The last thing that I saw that she did was, it's not all amazing. The Wrinkle in Time was the last huge project she did, but it wasn't a big box office thing, but she made history as the first African-American female director to helm a feature film with a $200 million budget.
Oh, cool.
Budget, yeah.
Which was amazing. But she's just an inspiration of mine. I love her. I love all the work.
Are you into the horror movies at all?
Absolutely. You know I am, sir.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've changed over the years. I don't know, but I just watched one on Netflix called His House. Did you watch that yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's I forget the guy's name. It's like Remy Meek or something like that, and it's his first full feature film. And we talked about during October. I watched a movie called Razorback, and I enjoyed it because it felt authentic to like Australia. This is a story about these immigrants from, I forget what part of like Africa, but they end up in England and they have to like prove their worth towards the country, and so they get put like in this house, and the house seems to be haunted, and you find out that it's by a creature called a peth, which is like a witch doctor, and so you get all this like really cool like lore from something that I like never heard about, and it's more interesting than like a scary movie. It's got very good acting, amazing visuals, super creepy. And it has a really cool, I don't say like twist ending, but the ending's very like satisfying. So if you have time, it's maybe like 90 minutes. It's very good. It's awesome. Do you prefer Marvel or DC?
I prefer Marvel. Always been a Marvel fan. As a matter of fact, I have, let's see.
Okay. Yeah. I actually own those in the like individual comics.
Yeah. Love Marvel. I mean, I enjoy DC too, but
yeah,
yeah, that's okay.
Some of it's okay.
Yeah,
some of it's terrible.
hey, Iron Fist, I want to hear you over there. Okay?
In comics, it's good. In comics, it's good. Okay? The show is terrible. Do you have like a favorite writer?
Actually, my favorite writer he's with DC. It's Tom King. He does.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
You should have said yourself. I was going to yeah.
Failure. Oh, hold on. He was so like your perfect movie world. If like you could live in like a movie world, what would it be?
As yourself.
As yourself, though. You can't be anything special.
Or
like more special.
Okay. I would be funny. Blade.
No. So you're just a guy
in the world of Blade. I'll be.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So you just want to live with vampires around?
Yeah. I would be familiar. I would be one of those dudes, hanging around them, getting their blood,
Get beat up by snipes.
Yes.
He's familiar. What is your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game is probably The Last of Us.
Really? Okay. So I wanted to play it. I've heard that it has like a super good story, but I just never taken the plunge.
I started it. I just didn't. I got distracted by something else, and I've been meaning to go back and play it again.
Yeah.
And started off really good.
I actually just finished Detroit Being Human.
Okay.
And that was I was awful at it. So it's one of those games where it's all about like button prompts. Mm-hmm. So it's a very like linear, very compelling story, and it's like there's three main characters. One of them is a maid who stops a dad from hitting the kid. The second one is a robot who helps the uprising, and the third is a cop. And I was fine as the maid and the prophet. I was the worst cop ever. Like I don't care what I tried. I chose poorly.
Can I just say something real quick? You were the worst at rapid fire questions. Okay, it's like your third time. You just like stopped and told a story. It's like it's rapid fire questions.
I know. I'm sorry.
Taking so long.
Yeah, this is the one pop fire. This was what this is. Anyways, before I was interrupted, so I was so terrible as the cop that my partner ends up killing himself, which then it like shows you the like world stats, and only 2% of all the players actually got that. That's how bad I was. It was terrible. What's your favorite hero?
Favorite hero, Batman.
Batman, really? So you like Marvel?
I love Marvel movies. I love Marvel comics, but when it comes to DC, I'm all Batman. I love Batman.
Who's your favorite author of all time?
Favorite author, Stephen King.
Right.
Is that writer or something? I thought. I don't know.
I said favorite director.
Okay, go ahead.
Now who's running rapid fire? Now who's doing it, huh?
She did. She interrupted first.
What's your favorite book for King?
Favorite book for what?
For Stephen King.
I love the Stand, which is freaking Bible.
It's huge. Yeah. Are you excited for the new film?
I am. You know, the miniseries, the 1990 miniseries was
it's a little cheesy, but yeah,
it was good though. It was still. It's all kind of like Stephen King cheesiness, all wrapped up in one sandwich.
They actually just bought like the book, the Institute, which I'm not sure how old it is, but it's got that like kids have like psychic powers and stuff. So like. For his stories, those are the ones that like I'm always like more like about is the ones where people have like powers and stuff, like The Shining and everything. And then finally, what is your favorite moment so far in your career?
Favorite moment thus far would honestly just be being able to finish this feature film, because I've been working on it for like 2 years now, and it goes back to taking the time to really develop the story and really get the ideas down. And it's been a long journey, and finally it's pretty much done. So super excited about where it's going, and looking forward to hopefully getting some money to make it next year.
Right. Yeah.
I'm shocked that it's not being on this podcast.
That's
your favorite moment in your career.
Such a backhanded compliment.
No.
I'm surprised it's not this terrible podcast you're on right now.
No. I'm joking. It's really impressive. Like, I'm really interested in the story. I'm excited to see where you take it, and are
you talking about us? Totally, yeah. Like the podcast is going, man. We're like really going places.
Okay.
There's no confidence even in this room, Rod. It's Are you being mean? Okay, great.
That's fine. This is why they keep me in the corner. Yeah.
It's okay. She hasn't earned her chair yet. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
I don't know how much fun this was for you, but
boring, Andrew.
If you need anybody else to read your script, let us know, and we'll help you out. I don't know that you were asking for help and stuff about that. So
yeah.
If something happens, I don't know. I mean, I have a voice. It's not good, and it talks really fast, but
and a lot.
Even when I'm sleeping, it's just going still. It's ridiculous.
Hey, is the interview over? Can I now share secrets about you from high school? Because
oh my god,
yes.
Real quick, guys. As always, you can go and check out anything from Rod on rodkirby.com. And then Kirby Media Studios as well, which is kind of like how you help local people and stuff, like film and stuff, right? And everything.
Yep. Yeah. We help them with production as well as marketing services. So just helping them to really amplify their projects in the marketplace.
Awesome. And then, do you have a date for the second part of the prayer, or is it just next month at some time?
It's going to be towards the end of December.
Okay.
But the edit is going well. I'm working on it right now, and it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too.
I can only imagine, man. I mean, like, like you like, editing that's awesome, man. You can come edit this if you want. Well, thank you so much. Also, guys, next week we're coming back with a special episode. It'll be all about Dungeons and Dragons. That'll be like a session 0 to teach you how to play the game, and you'll get to know all the players going on and how awful we are at the game. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun, I think.
Hey, it's all about having fun. And
That's right.
It's all about murder hoboing.
Yeah, and telling really fun stories. There will be 2 new players. So that'll be a good gateway, I think, for everybody who is looking to get into like the game and everything, whatever. So that's what we're doing. Rod, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you.
At some point, if we ever hit 10 followers, man, we can help you out somehow. Thank you so much, bud.
So to those followers, though, please make sure you follow us.
Oh yeah, see, this is why I'm bad.
Come on, man.
See, I'm just.
Promote yourself,
simple.
man.
I don't ever do any type of promotion. I'm just you can
Why
never
aren't
find
people
us.
following us?
I don't know how you even heard this, everybody.
You can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram at in2geek and or at in2geek podcasts. I can't say it right. I don't know. Andrew's rubbing off
That's
on
true.
me.
It's my stutter. It's
and
everywhere.
you can follow us at in2geek on Twitter.
Seamless.
I know, right? It is
Yeah.
so great. Rehearse that for hours.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time.
See you.